worry about environmental conditions. Does one get does one dies before the other? What happens if one dies? How much effect does it have on the whole system? Some of us would say, well, here it is, here's my permit, I press this button, give me my money, I'm done. The guy who's in the business of solar business, he's got to think about that. Right? So there's a lot to do, okay? Don't get discouraged. If I can do it, I'm sure you guys can do it. All right? So that's what we're talking about, alternative type of energy. Can we have alternative energy supply the world's energy needs? Yeah, they can. That's what we're saying, and I think we have done. If you look at actually the global consumption versus how much of alternate energy do we have, you can see only the global consumption is only what? 15 terawatts in here. But if we start looking how much we can get out of wind and how much we can get out of geothermal and solar, look at that solar, man. We should be running on solar, right? We should tell those manufacturers to make everything solar. We can see we have plenty. We have plenty. Real, this is what we need to consume a global consumption. This is what's available, like plenty, and a lot from solar. This is again a comparison of what is available. If we look at the production, what do we produce? Now, if we look at the production, we only see that we produce what? 1% of that alternate, and the rest of it is what? Oil, gas, coal, hydroelectric. How about that? So people look at those things, and that's how they come with these great things. If we look at the actual usage in a conventional building, what is being used inside a particular building? Again, this is statistics on overall. You see we're using mostly what? Gas, oil, and a very little of the solar in here. Who knows what they have? Some small little solar panels. So what we like to do is take that little pie up there and convert most of it into what? Solar. So actually, you go on a building, you see what? The windows up there, they act as what? As a solar collector at the same time as acting what? As windows. And they're acting as what? Thermal shield. They're acting differently in different types of what? Conditions of the day. This is ideally what we want to do, and people are working on that. All right? Why are we still using what? Fossil fuels. Because what? Because they're cheap. How many of you have solar stuff in your house? He's got solar, he's got solar. Let me tell you something. Between him, the other guy, I might have solar in my house. Because I just made the connection. And between about 50 electricians in here, I should have no problem installing it, right? Because again, the cost. And if you look at the cost associated with that, solar, again, I'm not precise in the cost, but if you see solar cost per kilowatt hour versus the coal, you can see coal is what? Pretty cheap. Pretty cheap. And then you have oil, gas, and you look at solar. So the minute, and I guess the fundamental thing is the minute the solar energy becomes what? Equivalent to the cost of the fossil fuels, there'd be no question about it that we're going to be doing what? Solar. Right? Because then you could definitely have convinced. This is very important because people say, what are the people when you go and try to set up a solar system to somebody in a house is going to say, am I going to do what? Is my energy bill is going to be what? Reduced a lot? And what is the answer you tell them? He tells them yes, and he lies. You tell him what? You don't tell him no because you don't get the job.
Over a period of time.
What is the intelligent thing to tell them? Well, we're going to become marketeers first, right? What are you going to tell them? You're going to weigh the benefits, the goods and the bads, okay? And you're going to do what is called a trade-off analysis. Say, listen, by doing this and this and this, you may not reduce because you would not at the present time get yourself what? Call the utility company and says, look, come and get your meter out of there because I have what? Constantinos solar panels there here, all right? He's going to, but you're going to sell it based on what? On reducing the energy cost and helping the environment, and it's going to last you forever and so forth. And I'm there to do what? Whatever you need, right? Because that's what happens. So, and you're going to tell them, listen, at some point in time, these fossil fuels are going to go. So obviously, it's still expensive. Still expensive. The minute you're going to have what? Solar coming down to the point of what? Of the grid, which is not. I think it's about 32 cents. What's the cost of the electrical power now? Average. 18 cents per what? Per kilowatt? Some companies, what, 15, 13, 15 in New Jersey? I don't know. You guys look at your electric bill. What is it? It doesn't matter, but the thing is that it is really still cheap to use fossil versus the solar, okay? And that is the main reason, because we are depending on cost. And it's like just a bigger picture so you guys in the back can see it up here, right? And this is again all these statistics that come up from different reliable sources, okay? Then you said, look, the cost is an important thing to you, but again, environmental, the harms, okay? And if we increase the renewable energy sources, we will do what? You're going to save the world. You're going to be an example. And they're utilizing a lot of the utilities, a lot of the municipalities, a lot of the industries now, sharing cloud, you know, they're using what? This kind of concept to do what? With solar panels, they come out of what? In different presentations, and they say, what, we're turning green. They put what? Solar energy in colleges, yes? Right? For that particular, every college in what? In the state of New Jersey now has what? Solar panels, because they want to do what? Set an example too, at the same time.
So what's the return on investment with those? 7 years, 8 years?
It's depending on the cost and the size of the system. Depending on the cost and the size of the system, it is estimated that the rate of return which the system is going to pay off by itself in what? In 7 years. There's a lot of variables associated with that. Am I going to have a sun? What about the environmental? I mean, we have some summers that they what? That they look like winters. We have some winters that they look like summers. How much sun I'm going to get? What is the area? But typically the answer to your question is about 7 to 8 years. Now, tomorrow, if new technology comes, because don't forget, the average module, it used to produce you what? 100, 135 watts. Now they're up to what? 200. Some of them, they have it at what? Up to what? 300. They're working to a 600 watt panel. So now, in the same amount of area, now you can put what? You can get a lot more power. Okay? But it's still costly. But we're using other techniques. Technology is changing. A lot of the components, they used to be what? Individual components putting together. What are we doing now? We're integrating into one component. We're saving what? Cost of labor and materials at the same time. You're going to learn a lot of this stuff. Okay. So here's some of the justifications you're going to do, okay? You're going to reduce the dependence of fossil fuel imports. Somebody gets mad at us up here, and then what happens? 1973, we say what? On a line up there to put gas in our cars, right? We got problems. Fuel diversity, economic development, market transformation. We lead by example. We do it. We are the green guys up here. Please see, we help in the environment. We do it for nothing. Reduce air emissions, mining, transportation fees, all kinds of things. And then again, demonstrate environmental stewardship. And I have the concept of water, because what happens is, okay, you need energy what? To produce and clean water. There are places you cannot get water, so therefore you need what? Energy to produce water. Some of the statistics that we have in here, the actual what? United States energy consumption by sort 2006. Here's what happens, okay? Here's what we consume. Natural gas, coal, nuclear, petroleum, renewable. 7%. And then when we break this thing up, we see what? The solar in here is what? Not too much, right? Not too much. So this is an industry to do. Today's solar picture, okay? Who's producing the most? We used to, right? We only, in the world marketing here, here's where we are. Germany is what? The numbers may fluctuate a little bit, but still. Germany, Japan, something like that, okay? What do? What do we have? We have subsidies. The constellation of the system is what? It's subsidized. Net metering, the electrical utility what? Buys electricity for that, okay? And then renewable energy certificates. Some of the stuff, we're going to talk about it later on in what? As we go into the economic analysis by the end of the program in here. What does the future holds? If we look at that, what do we have? Okay, the cost of the what? Of photovoltaic energy is what? Is dropping. It's dropping and if the trend is going the way it's going to what? Continuously drop. Okay. And what we have,